Alright guys, and welcome back to some more of The Letter. The last part we ended on a really cool intro and the start of our story, as we got knocked the fuck out by a staircase. A buzz breaks the silence. I started to rouse, pulled into consciousness against my own will. I've never felt this tired before. I just want to sleep, but an insistent buzzing, poking, and prodding isn't letting me. My old mattress may not be the comfiest of places, but that doesn't make me more eager to wake up.
5 more minutes, Becca.
I swat away what has been nudging me persistently at my side. Brr, brr, brr. Can't I just get a few extra minutes of sleep today? I promise I'll work hard once I'm up. My hand lightly taps my cheek, and something cold is suddenly pressed at the back of my head. An icy sensation slowly spreads through the area, giving me an uncomfortable feeling.
Isabella? Isabella? Gosh, can you hear me? Isabella?
The fog immediately lifts from my mind the moment I recognize the voice, and my eyes snap open. It's my friends. Okay, she's breathing. I thought she was floating for a second, like in midair. Or just hovering. There, looking down at me, is Rose. She's okay. Another woman loiters beside her, but my attention is too focused on my co-agent to even ask why there's someone else with her. Rose's posture just screams worry, although she keeps a straight face, or trying at least. I can't help but feel bad for making her fret. A wave of dizziness washes over me as soon as I try to get up, forcing me to lie back down again. Luckily, the feeling subsides after a few seconds, until only a mid-throbbing somewhere at the back of my hand remains. With a little assistance from Rose, I push myself upright. She hands me an ice pack and gestures to me to press it where I suspect a small bump has already formed. If the light ache in the area indicates anything.
All right, Isabella, where are we?
Oh.
The Ermengarde Mansion. Why? Ow, my head.
And the date today?
October 21st? Rose.
Last one. Can you count to 15 in reverse order?
15, 14, 13, 12 teen. No, that's wrong.
Wow.
Why are we doing this?
Just to make sure you're okay.
She's just checking if your injury is in any way serious.
And who are you? This time I curiously regard the woman standing beside Rose. It's impossible to overlook her, what with the way she towers over us. And here I thought Rose was already tall. Who is she anyway? One of the remaining cleaning crews? But with how primly dressed she is, I don't think anyone would want to clean it with a suit. Want to clean with a suit. An expensive suit at that. The gloves alone must have cost a fortune. Her eyes slowly shift between me and Rose, considering us with an almost unreadable expression before finally fixing a sharp gaze on me. I can't help but fold my arms protectively over myself as she does so. She may be far from a cleaning crew, but she certainly looks like a supervisor during the evaluation.
Just do it, please.
I eye them both warily, but recite everything as she asked. Rose releases a breath of relief once I'm done.
You scared me for a moment there. I was about to call for an ambulance. Are you all right?
Exasperation soon replaces the dull ache. The memory's a little fuzzy, but the attic and...
There was someone, Rose. In the attic.
Someone? You mean a client? Oh, that's unlikely. It's probably just one of the cleaning crews. The boss sent a few of them back this morning for some last minute...
No, not any of those. I'm not actually sure. Wait, didn't I call you? You said you were in the attic when you answered. That's why I went there in the first place.
Both Rose and the lady looked at me as if I'd grown another head. Did I say something wrong? Or weird? Rose quickly cast an apologetic smile at the woman before the awkward silence stretches on further. It's her saleswoman's smile, the same one she taught me back when I was still her trainee. AKA the fake smile. I should show this to troublesome clients or just to avoid trouble in general, she advised. It's also the same one she gives me when I've done something particularly absurd that may cause us to lose a potential sale. Her eyes are serious when she turns back to me. She takes both my shoulders, gently squeezes it, and with as much patience she can muster.
As much as I'd love to have gotten at least a heads up of your arrival, I didn't really get a call from you. You know, signal here is absolutely horrendous. I was in the garden earlier and couldn't even make a single call.
Why would anybody live here if the fucking reception's bad?
Isabella, I'm going to ask again. Are you really all right? What happened?
I don't know. It's all a bit blurry.
I bet we have the letter.
I remember I was looking for you, but you weren't in the attic. And there's whoever it is. And I must have tripped on a rug or something on the way down. Oh no. Do you think someone came in while you were out? You left the main door open. We are so going to get into big trouble if something gets stolen, Rose.
Perhaps it is a concussion.
Are you sure you feel fine? We could still call for an ambulance. I could cover for you.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay, Rose. I can work.
Wait. Hold your horses, Rose. I can't just miss an important sale just because of a minor bump in the head. Extremely minor bump. I've had worse when I was a kid. This is nothing.
Besides, if I leave, you'll have to shoulder everything in the open house. Alone. And in a mansion this big?
Well, there's also the part where I may lose that bonus BRC promised. But that's completely besides the point. Rose gives me a skeptical look when I return the cold compress to her and push myself off the floor. I have to use the staircase's railings to steady myself, but otherwise I feel fine.
See? I'm A-okay.
I like her attitude. The two of them exchange a worried glance, and Rose assumes a contemplative look. I bite my lower lip in anticipation. If she says no...
All right, you in.
No. A smile threatens to slip out from me.
If I see that you aren't feeling well, I'm taking you personally to the nearest clinic to have you checked. Clear?
I'm probably going to go anyway, but sure.
Clear as day, ma'am. Thanks, Rose.
You insisted. But remember what I said. First sign of you looking not okay, and we're off. No questions asked.
It's just a small bump. Don't worry.
You shouldn't downplay these kinds of things. It could be a serious injury for all we know.
Suddenly, a small cough sounds against the walls of the foyer, interrupting our banter. The woman is looking unexpectedly at the two of us, her stare making me shrink back a little on myself. It looks like she's getting a little impatient. She isn't really intimidating. Well, she is. But not in the scary negative way. Far from it, actually. Her demeanor simply commands an air of sophistication and respect. In a different world, a younger me would have probably wished to be like her. At her lack of response, she coughs again, lifting a well-trimmed eyebrow at me in question. Words get caught in my throat at the sight of it, and Rose, as usual, is swift to catch my blunders.
My sincerest apologies, Mrs.
Miss McCulloch. Marianne McCulloch.
McCulloch? It's a cool name. She hands Rose her business card. Traley Rose Designs. At xmail.com. Does that exist? I don't think so. That's funny. The words interior designer catches my eyes before my partner flips it over. Oh, probably someone interested in the mansion for its 17th century influences then. I wouldn't hold it against her though. Despite her hearsays of remaining uninhabited for years, the mansion's original fittings and furniture have kept completely intact and restored to pristine condition. I suppose some people find that trip to the past feeling appealing. After all, with what it offers, this place Could also be a haven for people looking to live somewhere with a classic historical charm.
Miss McCullough, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We're just ironing out a few things, but we'll be starting the tour soon enough.
Rose, it's Miss Kalach.
In the meantime, we've prepared some refreshments for you in the parlor while you're waiting. If you could please.
Thanks. There's no need for it, though. I just dropped by for a quick survey of the place. I thought I should check the estate before I meet with the homeowners.
Rose's confusion is impossible to miss when she glances at me, and I return it with an equally perplexed look. And against my better judgment, I blurt out the first question that comes to mind.
I'm sorry. Homeowners?
I should have kept my mouth shut. A flash of irritation crosses her face, and it instantly disappears into the mask of professional detachment.
Yes. Hannah Wright?
I was hired by her to handle the interior design for their newly bought home.
Oh.
This is the Ermengarde Mansion, right?
It is, but...
She pauses, possibly trying to find the right words to fix the awkward situation without offending someone. Suddenly, Grudge nudges me with her elbow. Well, I don't want to... As professionals, we shouldn't just say, I don't know, so let's go with this. Those few moments have given me enough time to clear my head of any nervousness or confusion without clouding it.
It is, ma'am, but we weren't aware the mansion has already been sold.
What do you mean?
I almost flinch when she turns her gaze to me, but I stand my ground. Besides, it isn't like I haven't dealt with awkward situations like this before. I may screw up at times, but that doesn't mean I haven't learned a thing or two in 5 years I've worked in the business.
The mansion is indeed for sale, ma'am. Today's the open house, in fact.
Oh, let's pause for a second. Okay, that's improved. Okay. Good to know, I guess.
However, we haven't heard anything from the higher-ups that a deal has already been closed for this particular property. If you'd like, my co-agent and me can check with them right now.
She nods, seemingly in deep thought after I've finished. She appears to be a reasonable person anyway. Given the proper explanation, she'd surely understand.
I thought something looked odd when I arrived here. Excuse me, I think I need to make a call to my secretary. Thank you for your assistance, Miss Santos.
With a slight wave of her hand, she leaves us. That seems to be the end of it. Both Rose and I breathed a sigh of relief. Disaster averted. For now. I also don't miss the thumbs up she gives me for doing a good job. I can't help but swell with pride. Still, I've already prepared myself to dial the number to our Luxborn office and check, even if she didn't ask for it. I will be very frustrated if for some reason something has already been decided without me or Rose's knowledge. That's a whole new level of unfair. We've been working hard on this. Moments later, Miss Callagh returns, looking a little frustrated, but with an apology clear in her face. I feel a little sorry for her having to go through all this trouble.
There seems to have been a little misunderstanding with my client. If you'll allow it, I'd like to stay and wait for them here.
I feel like her accent switches from Irish to, like, English. Yeah, it's alright.
I was informed they'll be dropping by for the open house today. I figured it'd be a waste to just leave after that long drive. I might as well meet him here.
Certainly. You could stay at the parlor in the meantime, ma'am. I'm sure it won't be long before our guests arrive. And, Isabella, I left a few documents in my car. You know where I keep those. Can you please get it for me?
Rose takes a glance at her wristwatch before tossing me a set of keys.
And hurry! You still got a few minutes to double-check those papers.
Okay, got it.
The two of them disappear behind the parlor door. Their departure brings with it a stillness to keep me company, neither welcoming nor comforting. Alone, like this, it's impossible to not think of what really happened. I wish the memory isn't as elusive as it normally is. Then again, Rose already said she didn't receive any call from me. What was it just paranoia? A temporary lapse after having heard all those tales about this place? Probably. I want to think of it as such. Better to think of it as such so I can work in peace. Except a small part of my mind begs to differ, and if I am going to be completely honest with myself, I want nothing more than to leave this place as soon as possible. I don't know what's about this house, and I don't want to know. The keys Rose have just handed me dig into my palm, its jagged edges creating shallow ridges on my skin for how hard I'm clutching it. It's a reminder of what I still need to do and why I've taken this job in the first place. Hugging my blazer closer to my body, I exit the house to get what Rose asked for me. Just a few more hours, Isabella. Sell the house, get the money, do work, get paid. What? Okay, let's ignore that. A flock of people have already gathered in the mansion front yard by the time we officially open the doors. So I guess a lot of them don't know the stories behind the mansion. Or at least they do, but they're quite curious. Spirits? Ho 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 ho, yeah, okay. I'm not sure whether I should feel baffled or underdressed standing in their presence. Men and women of wealth and status, all dressed to the nines in fancy suits and lovely dresses of varying colors, compose the medium-sized crowd. Their necks, arms, and fingers all adorned with silver and gold, glinting in the afternoon sun. Some even have ridiculously fancy feathered hats on their heads. I really hope there aren't any magpies living nearby like in the stories. Those birds will have a field day in this. They are murmuring among themselves, looking at the estate facade appraisingly, with some arguing about whose mansion has the superior architecture. But most of it stops as Rose calls for their attention. They don't look too pleased at being ordered around, but what can they do about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We'll be taking a tour of the mansion in 2 groups. Please make sure you filled up our sign-in forms before joining a specific group.
Those who want to look around the first floor, please follow my partner. I'll be guiding the ones who wish to see the ground floor.
Hearing this, a few wander to me. They are mostly old ladies who seem daunted at the idea of climbing all those stairs. That's funny. Miss McCulloch also joins our group, but what really catches my eye is the elegantly dressed pair she approaches. Yeah, she's looking fine.
It's so nice to finally meet you. When Chief Inspector Lee mentioned that a famous interior designer is in town, I knew I had to get you.
Man, some of these voices remind me of a Dragon Quest game.
Your confidence in my skills is very flattering, ma'am.
I'm sure you won't disappoint, Marianne.
This guy.
Oh, you know each other?
Not at all, ma'am.
You mentioned something about a Marianne on our way here, darling?
Oh, yes, I think I did.
I'm gonna look at this real quick. It probably, yeah, it's just a telling of the story, yeah. Ah, they must be the clients she was talking about. I might have seen their faces somewhere before, some magazine or the television, I can't quite remember. But then again, most of our guests have likely ended up on the news one way or another. I wouldn't be surprised if these two already have. For people who are popular, though, they aren't dressed as loudly as the others, and in their simplicity, the couple stands out. The woman in particular is stunning enough to turn the heads of most people in my group, especially the men with wandering eyes. The guy standing beside her doesn't seem to mind, though. And if I'm going to be a bit bolder with my assumptions, I'd say he's basking in the attention. Both of them, in fact. I think they are brother and sister if it wasn't for their public display of affection. The matching rings on their fingers just cement the fact that they are indeed a couple. It's funny, Isabella notices that he has a ring on her finger. He does, and her, but like, you know, why are you checking? Whatever. Couple or not, what's important as we get this deal closed before the current owners can even think of canceling the listing. I just hope one of the people in my or Rose's group is brave and generous enough to buy this mansion. And so, with papers in hand, I lead the way. When they aren't whispering among themselves or going ooh and ah over one thing or another, they ask questions. From how the restoration process went to the history of the place, I answered them all, more than happy to talk about the art pieces and architecture mostly. However, I'm careful not to mention anything about the urban legend. Of course not. Not a good material for sales talk, even if the entire population of Luxembourg knows about it.
Some of the furnishings here are actually the 17th century originals, all of which have undergone a painstaking restoration process just to return its original
Please have
beauty.
someone ask her about the urban legend, please.
Even the glass thing. Colorful ones. Oh, I don't know, but you get the idea, I hope.
You talking about the stained glass windows?
Especially that one, ma'am. It is said to be a gift commissioned by the fiancée of Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. The mansion's current owners have specifically requested that the restoration crew take great care in handling it. It's a priceless work of art and the most distinctive feature of the mansion.
By the time I've stopped talking, her attention is already elsewhere.
Isn't this place wonderful, darling? I told you it's not a total waste of your time.
I don't know. Isn't it a bit too small? We might have to break a wall down to have more room.
Oh my god, the idea that somebody walks into a mansion and goes, isn't this kind of small?
Well, I think it is just right. Don't you think so, Marianne?
It is splendid, ma'am. But isn't it a little too early to make plans when no deal has been signed yet?
Never mind that. It isn't going to be a problem. We've got a wonderful legal team to handle everything.
What's funny is that this lovely lady looks like a Disney princess, and this dude looks like the evil villain in a Disney movie.
Start taking notes, though. I think I've got a few things I want changed before we move in.
The rest of their conversation gets lost in the chatter of our companions. I don't want to make any assumptions yet, but their sneer interest is enough to give me some semblance of hope. Oh, please, please, please let these guys be the one. Eventually, our group reaches the kitchen. Much like the rest of the house, a great deal of effort has been put into retaining the room's classical appeal. The open hearth of the end of the room in particular looks amazing, like the ones I've only seen in fairy tale books. And mad props to the cleaning crew. Seriously, after overhearing hundreds of their complaints about the soot and tar staining the bricks and how much of a pain in the arse, that's Irish, cleaning this'll be, they still managed to pull this off. Or make it look presentable, at least.
The highlight of the room, however, is what's underneath this hatch here.
Oh, don't say anything yet. An underground wine cellar.
This is the first time the guy in gray speaks up. Mr. Luke Wright, my memory supplies from the forms they signed earlier. His sudden attentiveness catches me off guard. Since the start of the tour, only his wife has shown any form of genuine interest in the place. By this time, something lights up in his eyes at the mention of the Undercroft. So what's so interesting about a basement? I really don't understand rich people sometimes. White people. Right now, he just gives me the impression of a child who has seen what he absolutely wants for Christmas. I've always found it cute whenever I see children act that way, my younger siblings especially. On a grown man? It's almost funny.
Yes, sir. It could house around 7,000 to 11,000 bottles of wine.
Truly. And the room, how was it built?
The bricks that were used to build the cellar have been carefully picked for the purpose of maintaining and preserving a constant temperature and humidity in the room. It's a good place to keep your private collection in if you have one, sir.
It keeps the corks in good condition.
Oh, love. Didn't you say before that you wanted to make your own personal vineyard? Perhaps you could start one here.
You know we're going to need space for that, darling.
And this isn't big enough?
If it's space you're worried about, sir, the Ermengarde Mansion sits on a 46-acre lot. There's plenty of room for it. We were told that the original owners had a horse stable built here before, too.
There's a contemplative expression on Mr. Wright's face. But he doesn't say anything further. His wife, however, seems really pleased that he started to show interest, if only a little. I smiled to myself. I may not completely understand how these people's minds work, but I sure as hell know how to spot a buyer with sincere interest. Score. I can't wait to tell Rose. The rest of the tour goes on without a hitch. Goes by without a hitch. After more than half an hour, we're able to cover almost every room in the ground floor and are heading to the parlor. Funny. The first time BRC had us survey the property, I kept complaining to Rose how big it is. Now I can't even bring myself to care, no matter how much my feet hurt. Maybe this is just my excitement over a possible sale? The fuck is that? Oh, fuck. When we reach the parlor, however, an odd feeling washes over me. It starts off as small goosebumps on my skin, a feeling of being watched intently. Also, I hear a ghost talking shit in my ear. Whispers in my ear and shadows dancing, lurking in the corner of my vision. Dark silhouettes that are gone when I turn to look. That's bad. That's really bad. A chill settles down my spine, making me feel sick, and I start to break out in a cold sweat. I can't do this. I need to sit down for a moment. The old ladies in the group have been requesting for a break anyway. If I can just... Oh, I'm gonna save. It's getting creepy in here.
Excuse me, everyone? We will be taking a 15-minute rest here before we visit the first floor. In the meantime, please help yourselves to the refreshments and snacks we've prepared. If anyone has any questions, feel free to approach me. I'd be happy to help you.
I let them sit while I retreat to a quiet corner to recover. It's not what you think. Don't think about it. It's not what you think. I probably just caught Becca's cold. Don't think about it. I'm left alone for a good while, the same words spilling out of my lips in a silent prayer. Until a hand taps my shoulder.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
You there? Yes, ma'am?
Oh, look at you. Having to show a group around a mansion this big must be
It's
exhausting.
a lot of work.
Not a problem, ma'am. I'm just doing my job.
What a hard worker. Anyway, Isabel, right?
Isabella, actually. But yes, what can I help you with, ma'am, right?
Please, just Hannah. Call me Hannah.
Okay, I guess we're friends then.
I just wanted to ask, how soon are we able to move in?
My brain completely stops. The sick feeling plaguing me has suddenly gone, replaced by utter bewilderment. Is this a joke? She looks at me expectantly as I struggle to come up with an answer.
Wait, ma'am, you see, but we haven't even negotiated a price yet, ma'am. We haven't even finished touring the rest of the mansion. A sale would be great and all, but...
She stops me from speaking any further and puts a hand on my shoulder. For a moment, with her tight smile, she looks as if she has tasted a particular sour lemon.
Oh, please, sweetie, don't insult me. Money is not a problem.
I'm sure it's not, but we have a tour to complete.
And, just between you and me, this place is better off with us than with some old lady who'll probably just fill it up with cats.
Not my problem, but I see what you're saying.
I personally don't think there's anything wrong with having cats here, ma'am Hannah. I'm sure there's more than enough space here if you want pets.
Perhaps I'm still not feeling well, but really, what's wrong with cats? More importantly, why is she talking about moving in already?
Well, I'm more of a dog person. But you see, this is going to be a gift to my darling. It's going to be our anniversary
Congratulations.
soon. And it would be so wonderful if you can secure its purchase for us. Why, I can even offer something extra if you help us out with the paperwork.
We actually have a process for this, ma'am. I don't really think that would be necessary or appropriate.
And just what are you two lovely ladies talking about here? Leaving me and our lovely interior designer to talk here by ourselves. What would the people think, darling?
Oh, it's just small talk, love. I was asking if she could help me with the paperwork.
I try not to wince when her nails dig into my shoulder. I can't help but send an imploring look at Miss McCulloch, who only gives me an apologetic smile and a shrug.
Yeah, I can give you a fact sheet and a form to fill out.
She wastes no time in taking the papers out of my hand and shuffles through the bunch. Oh man, Rose is going to be so angry at me for letting her do that.
Wonderful. And Marianne, I'd really love to talk to you about those changes. You took some notes earlier, yes?
I did, Mom. But I really hope that this time...
Excellent. Hopefully you can help us out too, Isabel.
Isabella.
Right. It's a lovely name, Isabel.
It's Isabella.
Yes, that's great. We'll be more than happy to put in a good word to your superiors.
Sure,
too,
whatever.
What's this?
What's what? Oh, what, D-list horror prop? That's good art right here, too. A look of confusion and disgust appears on her face. Turning to her husband, he merely shrugs in reply. Oh my god, is that ancient letter?
That's, an interesting work of art. Not to my taste, though. I'm sorry.
Darling, Buttercup, art is a complete overstatement for this garbage. It looks like a cheap prop from a D-list horror film.
Shush, love. Let the girl do what she pleases with, what do they call this? Oh, forget about it. At the very least, it's not as dreadful as the one art exhibit I was forced to attend last month. You should have seen it, Marianne. Even you would have been appalled. But I'm sure you'll know what to do with our walls once we get started.
I highly doubt it is as bad as you say, Ma'am. Nevertheless, you can be assured that my team will only pick whatever suits your tastes. Nothing of this chain letter sort, of course. It has to always work with a palette.
I'm quite sure chain letters these days don't come in this form.
It's my turn to be puzzled. What do they mean? Rose and I double-checked everything. Are the papers I handed not enough? I wanted to ask what I did wrong. I don't want to mess this up. But with the way Madame Hannah's leading the conversation, I'm afraid that's exactly what will happen if I do interrupt her.
That's good to hear. See, darling, isn't she an absolute delight to work with? I can't wait to see how this place will look when she's done with it.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that,
Buttercup.
Buttercup.
A smile is back on her face when she turns to me and hands me a strange piece of paper.
I would still put it away if I were you, though. Otherwise, people might get the wrong
What could
impression.
you possibly be talking about?
Anyway, as I was saying...
I don't hear the rest of what she says after that. I can only stare down at the paper, at the letter in my hands. The sides crinkle in my grip and my breathing grows labored. Dread quickly fills my mind.
Isabella? Isabella? Are you alright? You're looking pale.
I didn't even notice when Rose's group joined us in the parlor. I want nothing more to say... I want nothing more than to say that no, I'm not alright. I want to leave this place, because I remember everything as clear as day. This letter and those blood-soaked limbs in the attic. It's real.
The letter. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Careless. I've been so careless. How do I even tell them that without looking like I've gone mad? I can't. Oh, that... Oof. Got one chance. Don't blow it. What would I do in this situation? You know what? To show that I'm not... Oh, wait. Fuck. I mean, people have the right to... but wait, okay. I'm a sales realtor, right? But I want to be honest with people, but... Like... She's gonna think it's silly if I pick this, so... But I still want to show it to her. I can't convince myself not to pick that. Alright, hold on. Let's look at this. My relationship with Rebecca went up. Okay, cool. And journal. Yeah, that's fine. I blurred out before I could think twice about what I'm going to say.
Rose, we need to get out of here. This place is cursed.
Everybody in the She's like, okay, she's gone fucking crazy. Rose casts a nervous glance at the people in the room. Did I say that out loud? Most are still engaged in conversation with their peers, but those curious enough to turn their heads in our group's directions have been given her trademark saleswoman smile, fake-ass smile. A tight expression is on her face when she pulls me aside.
Isabella, we've already had a conversation about this weeks ago. Those are just stories.
And I'm telling you that it's not. I saw something in there. It's not human at all. I thought it was just nothing, but isn't this letter proof enough?
She gently reaches out to pluck the paper off my hand. Without even taking a glance at it, she folds it back neatly. Wow.
Look, I'm really getting worried about you. I know you want to see this open house through, but your condition is more important. Give me a few minutes to wrap things up here, and I'll drive you to the nearest hospital.
She doesn't believe me.
No! You don't understand! There isn't a condition, Rose. No concussion at all. I'm fine.
Coming from a person with a concussion. No, I'm kidding.
But this place isn't, and you're being stubborn about it.
Okay. It's getting awkward. Before Rose could open her mouth for a retort, a hand lands on both of our shoulders, pulling the two of us a distance closer.
Now, ladies, what seems to be the problem here?
Nothing, sir. I just had to clarify a few things with my colleague.
Please get your hand off my
It
shoulder.
certainly seems intense. A smile fits the two of you better, in my opinion.
Uh-huh. She gives him that fake-ass smile. Like, get the fuck away from me, please.
Especially darling little Lily here.
Who's Lily? Okay, he gives my shoulder a gentle squeeze, while an inscrutable smile spreads across his face.
It's Isabella,
Why do
sir.
people keep getting it wrong?
Of course. But my point still stands. And with two beautiful ladies here...
Aren't you married, sir?
And I'm sure little Lily here would certainly appreciate it if you remove your pretty hands from her.
Yeah, what the
darling.
fuck? His girl is gonna buy him a house, and he acts like this? Oh man, look at Rose's face. So awkward. The pressure on my shoulder lifts as soon as those words leave his wife's lips, while the scowl on her face is like a splash of cold water on me. It is also impossible to miss the displeased frown on Miss Collock's face. The realization that we might lose this sale because of my outburst instantly dawns on me. Rose will be beyond pissed.
I think I need to step out for a while. I'll be back.
Bowing my head, I mutter a quick apology and gather my stuff to make a quick exit. It doesn't matter if this place is haunted or not. I've caused trouble, and Rose can be quite unforgiving of behavior like this. I'm almost at the door when she catches up to me.
Isabella, wait!
The apprehension must have been quite obvious on my face, because her expression instantly shifts to something gentler, eyes softer, a fond smile spreading on her lips.
Hey, I'm not angry.
Oh, that's good.
I know. I'm sorry I ruined this for you.
Come on, you didn't ruin anything. It's not like we haven't ran into any problems before. If we don't get a deal today, we can always try on a different day. And look.
She hesitates, completely trailing off, before shifting her gaze down to her hands, a small gesture to stall. Her fingers are fiddling with a piece of folded paper. It's that stupid letter again. My hands stiffen when she gives it back, but I take it nevertheless, more as an automatic response to any desire to have it back. I'll throw it away if I can. But I have this nagging feeling about that, one way or another. It'll find its way back to me regardless of what I do about it.
Rose, this is... You have to let them know about...
I know you want us to get this sale so badly. And we've made a lot of plans on how to go about this. I mean, who wouldn't? This is the first time I've been assigned to a property like this. I've sold plenty of houses before, but nothing like what we have here. It's a beautiful house. I'd love to get one of my own if I ever win the lottery. But I think... Look, here's the thing, Isabella. If we are going to do this, work on something, I don't know, this big, I need you in top shape. And the way you are
No
now...
offense. My mind stops.
What? Wait. No, I can still work. I just need to get myself together.
That's what you said earlier. I let it go because I thought, hey, it's your own body and you should know more than anyone how you feel. But after this, I really think you should take a break.
You're kicking me out?
No, I'm not.
Just looking out for your well-being, but it come across as that.
Look, all I'm asking is for you to take a seat somewhere I can see you, and let me handle this for now. You're clearly not yourself, and I honestly could use some time not worrying when you'll fall over or not. The day's not even over, and I'm already feeling the stress. Please, humor me just this once.
She claps her hands together in front of her, eyes pleading for understanding. And I do understand, to some extent. That doesn't mean I'll feel any less awful. Whether at myself, at the unlucky turn the situation has taken, or for her, I don't really know.
I promise I'll give you a full report of what happens after. I'll even let you take the lead tomorrow.
Fine. Okay. I'll step aside for now.
You're upset.
A little, yeah, obviously.
If it's any consolation, I won't tell the boss about today. You know how he is.
Please don't. I don't want a repeat of the lecture I got during my first assignment. He called me a noob, and I don't even know what that means.
Aw. At the memory, we both burst into helpless giggles, earning us strange looks from the guests milling about the door. Talking and laughing like this is easy to forget any mishaps that happened. Little things you learn to appreciate, I guess.
So, are we good?
I'm still not okay with it, but Rose has a point. It's better for me to step out of this one for now.
I won't be able to help you anyways if I keep getting distracted like this. Maybe I'll just take a walk outside or something while I wait for you to wrap things up.
Please, just stay put. I insist.
I'm not an invalid, Rose.
You clearly have not seen how you looked earlier.
It's not that bad.
Color hasn't even returned to your cheeks yet. Just stay here, all right? Don't even think of going anywhere. Let me finish what I'm doing here, and then I'll take you back to Luxembourg myself to have that minor bump checked. At least wait for me to call someone who will fetch you, okay?
She's gone before I can voice one word of complaint. Alright, so we're going to stop here for now, but thank you guys so much for joining. I can't wait for shit to hit the fan. Like I said, I heard some people, like... I saw some reviews for this game, and people were saying, like, oh, this is kind of a slow game. It takes a while to get anywhere, but that's just how visual novels go. But I'm looking forward to the moments when they happen, and I hope you guys are enjoying so far, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace out.